England's Lake Coniston, the spiritual home of powerboat record breaking, synonymous with speed. It is the iconic final resting place of the sport's most famous son and symbol, Donald Campbell and his boat, Bluebird. This week they've been gathering on the celebrated English lake to chase the ideal of Campbell and so many others who sacrificed their lives in pursuit of speed. It was here on January the 4th, 1967, after setting 7 water speed world records and one on land as well, that the dream died for Donald Campbell on the inky black Coniston waters. K7 was the name of the Bluebird boat in which he attempted that record on that fateful day. Let's speak to Phil Johnston, who is a member of the K7 club. What are your memories of Donald Campbell?
Well, I was a schoolboy at the time, of course, and I remember the black and white pictures, the black and white film showing the boat leaving the water, taking flight. It became an aeroplane. It was a jet, of course. It became a jet aeroplane. It was going so fast. And we believe he was going about 326 miles an hour.
We are right on the water now, very close. Phil, where exactly did this sort of happen?
Yeah, it happened just over here in the centre of the lake on what is today's course for Powerboat Records Week. And the boat, Bluebird K7, never actually quite got to the end of the course.
Campbell died instantly, attempting to become the first man to reach 300 miles an hour on water. His body and shattered Bluebird boat lay on the bottom of the lake for 34 years before being found by divers and brought to the surface in 2001. Finally, a sombre but fitting send-off for an English national hero.
March the 8th, 2001. Very emotional day. I'd seen Bluebird in the water on an underwater camera during the salvage operation, getting her to the surface. But when she actually came out of the lake, it was quite a sight. You really got the impact of how enormous his accident was.
Ever since the wreckage surfaced, the Bluebird project has been working to rebuild the famous boat, while the remains of the old one lie shattered in Coniston's Ruskin Museum.
The forces were enormous. It's said that every bone in his body was pulverised by that crash. I mean, hitting water at around 300 miles an hour is like hitting concrete.
Campbell was not alone in losing his life in the race for the record books. Others seeking the ultimate speed, Henry Seagrave and John Cobb, were also killed, hitting the water with deadly velocity in the early pioneering days. For the current crop of record seekers, even in smaller boats, the dangers remain only too real.
I'd had a very serious accident 6 years ago, which really should have ended my life, and I wasn't going to race ever again.
I've had 1 or 2 close shaves, but I had a fairly bad flip this year, earlier in the year. I went over backwards, and rescue got me out. But bit of a worrying moment, I must admit.
This is what it's all about, man's need for speed, the quest to be the best, which runs as deep as the cold, dark waters of the English lakes.
It's just an amazing thrill and experience, and it's part of a life that you become immersed into. We've got water running through our veins now. But I've got to be not too far away from a boat at any time.
Endaya Zoman from Latvia has been racing on the water since she was 11. And this week, at 15 years old, she's a world record holder.
It's really in my heart.
You're not afraid of the danger?
No. I'm not afraid of anything, I think.
One day she may go on to the ultimate prize, the fastest on water ever, a record that stood since 1978 for the Australian Ken Warby. But the real legend belongs to Donald Campbell, and one day his rebuilt Bluebird boat will return to roar again in its spiritual Coniston home.